All right, folks, another edition of Wings Weekly starts now. Jake Kleinknecht here, along with head coach Scott Langer and coach a weekend here at the ODI Center. That was, I honestly felt like it was a pretty even weekend over the course of both Friday and Saturday night. Of course, as losses go, they're never easy to accept, but a 7-4 loss on Friday that was 3-3 at one point. You were back and forth with them, and then of course Saturday night a shootout loss. But again, two teams that are third and second in the standings, and you played each other. I felt fairly closely, like it was anybody's game for a big part of that. And I ask this question all the time. But what did you think of the weekend? Let's start with Friday night. Friday night. Again, a loss, but a game where you guys had moments for sure.
Yeah, we did. They did a really good job of capitalizing on our mistakes on Friday night. The score really wasn't indicative of the type of game it was. It was a good game between two good teams. Obviously, they had the empty netter there at the end, but they were good. They were really good. They capitalized on all of our mistakes. And then, Saturday you've seen two teams that were really solid, not giving anything up.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't give anything up the whole game. And unfortunately, we fell short there in the shootout. And, I felt like we probably could have created a little more offensively in the OT. But we scored 2 in the shootout, and probably should have won that game. But now we need to look ahead and go for a better result this next weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Got to move forward for sure. It's funny because as Saturday's game was going along, of course, I was getting nervous and anxious about the whole teddy bear toss thing and all that, and so little scoring. But I kept thinking to myself, this is a Scott Langer kind of game. You like those defensive games and those games that aren't where there's not a lot of scoring and that your guys are doing playing well defensively. And it was really tight for a long time there, throughout Saturday. And Zach Rime ends up scoring the goal that made the Teddy Bears fly for Yilda Shrine Night, which is kind of funny because I talked to a couple of the guys, prior to the game. Well, Turner and Anderson for sure both told me that Rime was the pick, that he was going to be the one to make it rain, and he was. So that was pretty cool that you guys were able to do that there on Saturday night. Again, unfortunately, you come out with a loss, but gain a point. And as far as standings go, we'll talk about those in just a little bit. But you mentioned it. You move forward, but you move forward against the exact same team. What do you have to do differently? What's got to change? Maybe nothing?
Well, we obviously had our chances, both games, and we didn't capitalize on some of the chances that could have really separated us each night. So, we have to do a better job of and they have really good goaltending. Both goalies of theirs has got really good stats. They've done a great job, so you have to get to them. Obviously, they're really good at home. They've been good at home all the time. The games there are always hard for us. It's a game day travel, but these are points that we have to have. So, we have to have a good week of preparation. That's first and foremost. We have to forget about the past weekend, and we got to just build on, what we can control on ourselves, and that's our energy level and our focus and our determination going in there on Friday night. And right now we're just worried about the week of preparation and the first 5 minutes of Friday.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it, preparation. That's what it's all about, and it's all all season long, really. As you work to grow as a team and build as a group. What does that week look like? What are you working on?
Well,
I mean, I'm not saying give me your game plan.
No, I'm not. We have our structure throughout the week, and we'll continue with the same structure. But we're going to work harder at a few of those areas that I thought that we were exploited in over the weekend. So, I mean, it's just going to be, we're not going to change anything up dramatically because we dropped 2 to Bismarck. That's for sure. I mean, we know that we can play with that team. I gotta give him credit over there. That's probably Lane's best team I've seen him have since I've joined the Central Division. They did a good job assembling that team, and
some additions and so on too.
They're good. They're a good team. He's got good players there, and I look forward to playing them again this weekend. It's good to get them back to back because we suffered those 2 losses at home, and now we have an opportunity to even the score.
Opportunity for a challenge, that's for sure. Right now, Minot sitting at the top of the division, 67 points. Bismarck in second with 61. Wings in third with 53. Then Austin, 49. St. Cloud also with 49. That tiebreaker goes to St. Cloud, and North Iowa at the bottom of the division, bottom of the league with 20. But again, Bismarck, again this weekend in their building. You mentioned it, Coach. This is a good hockey team, and you mentioned preparation, all of these things. What do you feel like are some keys that I don't know? I probably feel like this is a little bit like redundant, but what are you looking for? I guess when you're looking around this locker room and you're looking at guys saying what is it that you've got to do a little differently? Is it energy? Is it what is it that was lacking?
Yeah, I don't think there was any energy lacking. I just think for us we just need to move forward, and we have to have fun doing it. The game's fun. This is a hard part of the year in junior hockey. It's such a long season. Guys get tired, guys get worn down, and it's such a repetitive day after day after day, week, month, that they're doing the same things over and over and over. And you got to have fun and continue to have fun. Like I said, we can't change what we just went through. All we can do is prepare the best we can and go in there and give them the best fight that we can.
Well, it's always a challenge at the VFW there in Bismarck, and not the VFW, well, VFW Center in Bismarck, and they play tough on their home ice, and as you said, a good team. They skate well, they're physical, they can score, they can do a lot of things, but you guys are able to do the same. So good luck against the Bobcats. I won't keep you any longer here, Coach. Well, like I said, wash that weekend away. You get a point out of the weekend, which is certainly a positive, but it is time to move on, basically. So thank you so much for joining us here on Wings Weekly, and good luck against the Bobcats.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, folks, we'll return with the second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
City Lights Bar and Event Center is your official home for the Aberdeen Wings. Stop down for an ice-cold beer or drink and choose from one of the many excellent food options on their menu, available for both lunch and dinner. And when your Aberdeen Wings are on the road trying to earn their way back to the Robertson Cup Championship, come on down to City Lights and watch the away games as the audio and video are streamed live. City Lights Bar and Event Center, the official home for the Aberdeen Wings on South 2nd Street, just south of the overpass in Aberdeen.
Second portion of Wings Weekly continues on, and as usual, a player is joining me, and this time it is Jibber Kuhl. I've been waiting to have you on the show, actually, because I've been watching your game progress, and the growth that you've had, the games that where you have really started to kind of shine. 5 goals, 2 assists so far here this season. A younger player, and maybe I should have said ways out of Minnesota. Of course, your hometown, Minnesota guy. But what's it been like? What's this journey been like? I'm going to get to where you started in hockey and all that. And again, I say Minnesota guy. That kind of goes without saying. Everybody in Minnesota plays hockey. Yeah. but you as a wing, I've watched it as the season has gone along, and you can see there's a level of maturity, there's a level of physicality, there's speed, there's all these things that it seems like they're getting stronger and stronger and bigger and bigger and better and better. What has it meant to you, from day one here in the ODI Center in this locker room to where you're at now?
I mean, it's meant everything. It's been a blessing to be able to play junior hockey, especially. I didn't even play varsity hockey as a junior, and so I was like seeing if I could even play junior hockey, and just getting to play juniors is just the coolest thing ever, and I think it's awesome. Awesome opportunity. It's super fun so far.
So let's walk through this. You played obviously Wayzata. You played in Wayzata. You played with the Walleyes. You played.
Yep.
When did you start playing hockey? And was there somebody that inspired you to do so, or that kind of helped you early on, or was it just like I said, that Minnesota thing where you just are kind of naturally going to have skates on your feet?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a Minnesota thing. I went to the state fair, and there was this wild experience thing, and I just picked up a stick. I started shooting pucks, and I'm like, Mom, Dad, I want to be a hockey player, and they're like, I don't know, because So, but yeah, and then they just put me in outdoor, like the rec league or whatever, and I just stuck with it, and now here I am. So yeah.
How old were you?
I was about 4 years old, I'd say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right on. Well, I know this. I know that I hear from fans all the time, and I talk to Coach Langer about this sometimes too, that it's surprising to me sometimes how many times I'm out in public and somebody recognizes me or something, and they immediately come talk to me about the Wings stuff, and your name has been coming up an awful lot lately.
Really?
Yes. A lot of people are like, man, what's up with that Jibber Kuhl? He's really got it going on. And they're impressed with your play, and I have been too. So that's awesome, and it's great to see your growth. Now we got to talk about Jibber. Is that a nickname?
It is.
Madsen.
Madsen's my real name.
Mm-hmm.
Jibber's my nickname from my dad. When I was younger, I just talked a lot. Jibber, jabber, joker, he'd call me. And then, eventually my friends caught on. They're like, Jibber. And then my coaches. And then, yeah. Now that's just what I go by now, so.
And when you're elite prospects, it says AKA.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Believe it or not, I do a little bit of research before these shows sometimes, and I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, good to know. Not that this has anything to do with anything, but there's a singer named Skeeter Davis, and her nickname was given to her by her grandpa because she was a skeeter, like a mosquito, flying all over the place, bouncing all around. It sort of reminds me of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so on Saturday night, again, we're coming out of a loss. I don't want to talk a whole heck of a lot about a weekend here at the ODI Center where you get the point. Like I said, that's a positive. But unfortunately, Bismarck, got the best of Friday and Saturday. Saturday night, though, Yelda Shrine Teddy Bear Toss night, and I talked with a couple of the boys beforehand as you guys were going out for warm-ups, and it sounded like Rhyme was a pick. Mm-hmm. And I know in some of the interviews, I guess, or on ice stuff earlier on, that he was kind of, it sounded like as a whole, I mean, there were a lot of people, there were some that had picked you, there were a few that had different picks, but Rhyme was kind of the locker room go-to.
He was.
And I was looked at him, I said to Turner and Anderson, I'm like, he's kind of a dark horse. Like, don't get me wrong, Rhyme's a heck of a defenseman, and he's obviously scored some goals, and he's an exciting player. I would not have expected people to pick him, and then he comes through.
Yeah.
He comes through with it. Like, how cool was that for you guys?
It was absolutely amazing. The boys were so fired up with that. Oh my gosh. We were super happy to see that.
I mean, like I said, not only was it awesome to see him score the goal, but of course for those teddy bears to fly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I was getting nervous. I was halfway through that third, I'm like, oh man, this isn't going to be one of those games where here's a timeout, so we'll throw the Bears. So anticlimactic, but we ended up, got coming through, and the Shriners, collected a whole lot of Bears that will go to a lot of different charities. Usually they go to the Children's Hospital, the Shriners Children's Hospital, but I think they're kind of breaking them up and taking them to different locations and so on around our area and giving them to kids and so on. And speaking of which, as I transition a little bit, what have you been, involved in any of the things like the Salvation Army ringing of the bell, or any of the Shriners stuff, or maybe helping out at the YMCA or whatever?
Yeah, YMCA a lot. It's really cool, actually. I like that. We're being a part of the community. I think it's really cool that we do that.
I think I've said this before, I'll say it again, it translates in so many ways, because you're reaching out to these kids and they look up to you guys, They look up to you guys as role models, as like, I want to be like that guy someday, whatever. And then, but by the same token, they go home and tell their mom and dad, I want to go to a Wings game. And then, the family comes out and you gain fans as you're helping out in the community. It's a funny thing how it works, and how it's like kind of, double-edged sword in some ways.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so moving along, what do you do? What do you like to do off the ice? Are you one of those guys that likes to golf?
I do golf. I do golf.
Are you good?
I'd like to think so, but I mean, my buddies think otherwise, so.
Okay, so what else? I mean, are you a guy that's going to read a book? Are you a gamer?
I game. I do like to read. As of recently, my mom's got me in a little family book club, so we've got a mandatory book we've got to read, and have family FaceTimes every week, so that's been definitely interesting. But
love that.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. So okay, so talk to me a little bit about your family. We talked about the inspiration. The Minnesota State Fair, and you're telling your parents that you wanted to go, play some hockey. Do you have any brothers or sisters or anybody like that? And shout out whoever you want to, but tell us a little bit about what's.
Yeah, I've got two brothers. I'm the middle child. My older brother is in college at Iowa State, and my younger brother is in high school. He's a 9th grader. They've been a big motivation for me. We kind of play around a lot as kids. My little brother's a goalie, so I shoot on him, kind of train him up a little bit. My parents, my dad is probably my biggest supporter, I'd say, biggest role model. My mom is also, there for pushing me and, keeping me true to my game. And
man, you can't say enough about hockey moms. You just can't. They're the best.
Yeah, she tries not to be. She tries not to be one of those crazy hockey moms, but I think
it's not even the crazy hockey moms. It's that they're preparing the meals. They're making sure everybody's somewhere and managing schedules.
For sure, I would not be who I am without her. She's the best.
That's fantastic. I love giving shout outs to hockey moms, because man, they are rock stars. That's for sure.
Yep.
At these rinks early mornings, and taking kids here, taking kids there, and
bringing donuts to the early morning practices. That's the best.
Exactly. All right. So speaking of, one of my go-to questions for you guys when I have you on, and again, I say this a lot, but it's because it changes for everybody. What's your meal going to look like if it's your last meal? If you could pick your meal.
Last meal.
Well, I don't want it to be morbid like that, like you're dying or something, but if you could pick just anything and everything, like your favorite things, what's that look like for you?
That's tough. I'm a big fan of a lot of foods. I think I'd probably just go with some classics, like just pizza. I like pizza a lot, pepperoni. Probably throw a burger in there. I like chicken, just, chicken breast, rice, chicken breast and rice, broccoli, that's a good meal.
So is that, okay, so now, is that kind of your game day meal too? It's rice and chicken?
I actually don't really have any game day superstition meal, any of that stuff. I know a lot of the guys do, and that's just not me, so I just kind of eat whatever I have leftovers, I guess. So. Obviously healthy, but
Well, as best you can, you got to fuel that body.
Absolutely.
But man, like I said, I've watched you grow over this year, and watch and your game, I should say, grow over this year. And I know, like I said, it's not just me. I'm seeing it and hearing it from other people around this building too. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're eating, you're doing it right, because you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I won't keep you here much longer. I usually ask a few stupid questions and stuff like that, but let's talk real quickly here, though, before I do that, or not, about Bismarck.
Okay.
Now, you saw them this weekend. First time since, I believe, October. I think it was around and I probably should have looked this up, but it was around Halloween, or real close to Halloween the last time we saw the Bobcats, and of course they're sitting second place in the standings right now, and you guys are sitting in third. Just talked to Coach Langer a little bit about what they do well. It's a good team. They're fast, they're physical, they score, they do it, and they've got great goaltending. What do you feel like as a group, as a player? What are you guys talking about in the locker room about what you've got to do when you go up to Bismarck this weekend?
It's a good team, but it's a different team than we played back in October, and I think they got a lot of new guys, so I don't know, we just kind of weren't ready on Friday night, I feel like. Saturday night we kind of took it to them a little bit, and the end wasn't what we wanted, but I think this week and going into it, we just have to kind of come together and realize that we need to really bear down and do the things that we do right, and I think that'll really work out well for us.
It's tough to play up there.
Absolutely, yeah.
They got a great crowd. They've got a facility there that will be rocking, no doubt. So it's going to be an interesting one here as you have, again, back-to-back games with them, and then up to Minot. So, well, speaking of which, folks, this weekend, the Bismarck Bobcats, the Wings are on the road. Puck drop scheduled for 7:15 both nights. Watch at City Lights Barn Event Center in Aberdeen, or log into NAHL TV. Listen on 94.1 The Rock, HubCityRadio.com, or the Rock app, which you can download on your mobile device and watch and listen to the games from anywhere in the world. And then following that, again, it will be Minot. The next home games, Friday and Saturday, March 8th and 9th. Guess what? Against Bismarck. Yep. Sign up now for a small dog race going on Saturday, March 9th. Email Aaron at asmith@aberdeenwings.com for more information about a small dog race. And I'm not sure of the qualifications of what is small, what isn't, whatever, but it sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. But again, the Wings facing the Bobcats several times over the next few weeks. Sponsorships and reserve season tickets are available for the remainder of the 2023-2024 season. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit AberdeenWings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And of course, this video can be seen on YouTube as well. Jibber Kuhl, thank you so much for coming on and joining me. I know that you guys have a lot going on with your work schedules and your workout schedules and your practice schedules and your game day routines and all of these things, but I really appreciate you joining us here.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, so awesome for folks to get a chance to see you a little bit. And again, keep on the track you're going, because the work is definitely being seen.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.